There's a man in a Roman Colosseum, two swords pointed at his neck and his face doesn't move. Not because he's fearless, because he's already decided something you haven't decided yet. And once you understand what that decision is, you will never look at weak men and strong men the same way again. Most people think power comes from money, muscles, or connections. Wrong. Power comes from need. The less you need from the world, the more the world bends toward you. This isn't motivation. This is cold, tested psychology used by kings, spies, and survivors for centuries. So here's insight number 1, and it's brutal. Every time you need someone's approval, you hand them a remote control to your emotions. Watch any negotiation, any breakup, any boardroom fight. The person who needs the outcome less always wins. Not because they're smarter, because desperation leaks out through your voice, your eyes, your timing, and the other side smells it instantly, even if they can't explain why. Insight number 2 comes from old war strategy. Ancient generals knew an army that fears losing everything fights differently than an army that has already accepted death. You cannot threaten a man who has already made peace with the worst outcome. This is why unbreakable men aren't reckless. They're just unthreatened. They've already imagined the worst case, sat with it, and decided they'll survive it. So nothing you say can shake them, because you're only offering them a fear they've already defeated in their own head. Now here's something almost nobody talks about. Insight number 3. Silence is a status symbol. Watch high-status people in any room, a CEO, a quiet older man at a family gathering, a bouncer at a club. They don't rush to fill silence. Low-status behavior is explaining yourself before anyone asks. High-status behavior is letting a pause sit there, even when it's uncomfortable because you're not performing for approval. If you find yourself over-explaining, over-apologizing, or laughing nervously to fill gaps, that's a leaking of power you don't even realize you're doing. And if this is hitting different right now, that's usually a sign you already sense this in yourself. And honestly, that awareness alone puts you ahead of most people scrolling past this video without ever pausing to think about it. Insight number 4 is about anger, and this one surprises people. Unbreakable men are not the ones who never get angry. They're the ones who never react in the moment they're angry. There's a technique interrogators use, they call it the delay effect. When someone tries to provoke you, whoever speaks first, emotionally, loses control of the conversation. Silence after an insult is more powerful than any comeback, because it forces the other person to sit in the discomfort they created, instead of watching you scramble to defend yourself. Next time someone tries to get under your skin, don't respond immediately. Let 3 seconds pass. Just 3. Watch how much power shifts in that gap. Insight number 5, and this is the one that changes everything once you actually apply it. Confidence is not believing you'll win. Confidence is not caring if you lose. That sentence sounds small, but read it again because it separates fragile men from unbreakable ones. A fragile man needs the outcome to go right to feel okay about himself. An unbreakable man's identity isn't attached to the outcome at all. He can lose the deal, lose the argument, lose the girl, and still walk away with his head high, because his sense of self was never rented from the result in the first place. This is why some people can fail publicly and still look powerful, while others win and still look insecure. It was never about the win. It's about whether your worth is self-owned or borrowed. Now let's talk body language for a second, because this part is underrated. Unbreakable men move slower, not weaker. Slower. Slow movements signal safety and control to the human brain, the same way a predator that isn't afraid doesn't rush. Fast, jittery movements, checking your phone constantly, fidgeting, rushing your words, these all signal to people's subconscious that you're anxious, even if your words sound confident. Next time you walk into a room, slow your pace down by 20%, just 20. People will read you as more grounded without knowing why. Here's the deeper truth hiding underneath everything we just covered. Unbreakable men aren't born emotionless. They're built through exposure. Every time you sit with discomfort instead of escaping it, every time you survive rejection instead of numbing it, every time you face silence instead of filling it with noise, you're rewiring your nervous system to need less from the outside world. That's the real secret nobody tells you. Toughness isn't a personality trait. It's a byproduct of repeated exposure to things you used to fear. The men history remembers as unshakable weren't lucky. They were just repeatedly tested until fear lost its grip on them. And that's available to anyone, including you, starting today, not someday. So here's your takeaway, and I want you to actually sit with this one. Stop chasing confidence. Start chasing indifference to outcomes you can't control. The less your peace depends on other people's reactions, approval, or opinions, the more magnetic and dangerous your presence becomes, without you saying a single word. Power was never loud. It was always quiet, patient, and untouchable. And once you build that inside yourself, no comment, no rejection, no failure will ever be able to reach the part of you that actually matters. The world will keep testing people to find out who's really unbreakable. The only question left is whether you'll be ready when it's your turn.